if your sense of what you're here to do is something fantastical, something that the world doesn't see you as, how do you begin? And what is going to get in your way that you have to recognize, release, and sort of gently push through to continue living out of your authentic energy, to see the authentic life, the life that you've known you're supposed to live as a kid, manifest as your reality. By the way, everyone who has shared their dreams with me in the previous videos, comments, I appreciate you because I, first of all, know that you're an important person in the world, and whatever it is that you're describing or pointing a finger to, that energy has to be real, and it can't be imprisoned in your own psyche, because that's what's going to serve our world and create a world that is better for everyone. Plus, it's very vulnerable to share these visions, so thank you guys. So I'm going to tell you a little bit from my experience of what is going to get in the way of you living that vision that you had for your life since you were a child, and an actual practice. It's going to be a practice, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but an actual practice that you can put in place until what you see and hear becomes your reality. And just for context, my name is Anya. I teach people about consciousness and spirituality. That's what I do all day, every day. I wrote a book on the subject that is changing people's lives called I Am. And I walked this path from being a kid that saw visions to being a woman who had 3 children and had no idea how to connect the dots, to choosing a profession that was just kind of close, right? Being an artist, kind of close to my mission that I felt all my life, but feeling like that's not it. And then finally stepping onto my path and living my destiny, feeling completely fulfilled, now happy to wake up every single day, feeling on track, which I wish for you as well. When you first begin realizing that you cannot back away from your mission, from your destiny, and you are going to want to make this fantastical vision real in the world, you're going to find that there will be a temptation to turn it on and off depending on how people are perceiving you. And I'm going to tell you, the bigger your job on this planet is, the more indifference you're going to encounter at first, the more resistance you're going to encounter at first. And because you're a smart, talented person, I bet you anything, you've gotten really good at something else. You've gotten good at being a mom. You've gotten good at being supportive. You've gotten good, like me, at being a painter. And people are going to fight you tooth and nail when you talk to them about your desire to go and like start helping the poor or healing the sick, or trying to create peace on this planet. They're going to say, you've lost your marbles. You are so good at engineering or at blah blah blah. Stick to what you know. By the way, there's nothing wrong with things we've gotten good at, as long as they're in service to our authentic selves, right? And not in the way or a hiding place from our authentic selves. So that's the first and the biggest thing you have to watch out for. And understand that that's how it's going to happen. Just because you are not perceived or seen in the way that you want to be perceived or seen, it doesn't mean that you need to turn that off and on, depending on what environment you are in. But instead, you have to work on the middle layer of your consciousness. And I actually do talk about how to do that in the book that I wrote, but you basically question the assumptions that say that you need to be understood, you need to be loved, you need to be accepted in order for you to be who you are. You are going to be living your authentic life from this place that is completely in union, meaning in oneness, in integrity, not split, not waiting for something else to come in and complete you. That's like a hallmark, a big sign that you are on the right track, right? As if you're living from a place that isn't waiting for anything else to recognize it, complete it, make it real, anoint it. Then comes the fun part where you begin bringing yourself out into the world. But at first, you may not be interacting with real people for the majority of your time. You still have to connect to them, But everywhere you go, when you don't see the recognition, when you don't see the resonance, you have to play both roles. You have to be the writer and the audience that's reading what you've written. You have to be the healer and the person that is healing yourself. You have to be the teacher, and you have to put the hat on of a person listening to yourself, and do it in earnest. Clean up what is a part of your physical reality, because that's always a part of the process. You might know who you are, but the physical spider web, the matrix, right? Your life, your reality is what it is, and it might be entangled in all kinds of assumptions and fears and relationships. So just because the world out there isn't yet on board with your new mission, you are also, the physical part of you, your mind, is part of the world. So you are your first client, your first audience. And trust me, you might think that you're showing up exactly as you want. But when I was writing the book, and I was only writing from the position of a writer, not from the position of the reader, I was writing things that were way too heady and complicated. I was so excited about the insight that I saw, which is totally groundbreaking. And I was trying to explain it to people, and they weren't buying it. And then I put myself in the imaginary position of my own reader, and I said, what is it that I want to hear, and what kind of language do I want to hear about this? And suddenly I said, Anya, nobody really wants to see how smart you are. I want to understand. I want to understand so I can take this and transform my life. And then I said it in such a way that people get it. People still complain that the book is hard to understand, but it's not hard to understand because it's written in a hard way. It's because it puts your world on its head, right? So become your own audience, become your own client. Really get humble. Like, what is it that you want yourself to bring to the table? How do you want to be spoken to? How do you want to be present with, be present with? How do you want to be loved? How do you want to be helped? What kind of speaker do you want to hear speak on stage? Not try to guess, right? In your mind, that's a mental thing. When we jump into the world of other people and we're trying to anticipate and guess, what is it that we're supposed to do so they could see in us that sense of mission that we see in ourselves? And instead of guessing, get real feedback from the part of the world that is closer to you than your own beating heart, which is you, because you're also part of this fabric. You're your first step. Once you do that, when that step is done, you're ready to be out in the world. You will lose your neediness. You would have practiced your art, and you'll be ready to serve a world in a big way. I hope that helped.